The best part of your week is about to begin. This is the time where we talk shop, swap stories, and share lessons from our wild adventures in the creative industry. With each and every lovingly crafted episode, we strive to bottle that magic, warm, electric feeling you get after coffee with a new friend or attending a fantastic breakout session at a creative conference. You might start as strangers, but you'll leave as friends. Buckle up, settle in, and get ready for this episode of Making a Mark. Hello and welcome to another episode of Making a Mark, the show where we bring new creators on each week and ask them one big creative question. I am joined, as always, by my dear friend, colleague, Ashley Ulmer.
That was like very extensive on the Ulmer there.
I said, you know what? This week we're gonna shake it up. We're gonna add a little razzle dazzle to the episode, and rather than inserting a joke about you or an off kilter fact, I said, how about I just like stretch your name out super long?
Can I say an off kilter fact that because you just said some razzle dazzle? Razzle dazzle is actually the name of the like cheer. Like I used to be on like a cheer squad thing when I was in middle school, and it was called razzle dazzle.
Well, howdy there. Look at that.
How did you even know?
I've whipped out an Ashley fact that I didn't even know.
Yeah. Learn something new every day, you know?
Holy Spirit up in the chat already today. I mean, that's great. Ashley, it's Friday. It's the best day of the week. How you feeling?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm fine. Let's don't talk about me, though. What's the question for today?
We're talking about creating a branding universe.
It
reminds me of like the Spider-Verse. Like, you know, there's just
I feel like this one's ripe and ready for a meme that I don't have time to make, but like this one's got a lot of visuals we could rope in.
Yeah.
I'm excited to talk about this one. I think that it's going to be pertinent, particularly for our church friends and for our clothing friends, and really anybody out there looking to do something beyond like, hey, I'm a solo designer, right? Or like a solopreneur, because creating a brand beyond just like, well, here's my logo, like
Right.
How do you create those things, those kind of intangibles about like, oh, like you walk into this shop and it's got a smell and a feel to it.
Sure.
Sometimes I am a bit clumsy with like trying to grapple with like, oh, hey, what makes me feel this way? And
Right.
I'm Marvel references in 3, 2, 1. I'm excited to hear from our people here because I feel like both of them have done it in different ways. And
Sure.
who are our guests today?
So today we have none other than Kiara Whiting.
Hello.
Are you sure it's not Whitting?
Whitting? Is it Whitting?
No,
Is that how you
Josh,
pronounce it? I
Josh,
thought it
you
was
tell me.
Whiting.
no, it's Whiting.
No, it's Whiting.
Oh,
It's
okay.
Whiting.
I've had a doctor correct my wife. She said, "Ma'am, I'm pretty sure it's Whitting," and she's like, oh, "It's my last name. Like, how are you going to fix that?" But who else we got?
We have Cowboy Carson Coop.
Oh,
say that right?
podcast listeners, you
Well,
just missed a
the
treat
moniker
of an
is
intro.
the moniker is Cowboy Coop, but my name, you did get that right, is Carson Cooper. I'm a longtime listener, folks. I am a marksman, but I'm happy to be here. Be sure to drop in the chat, marksman, and hold it down. And then to settle the last name debate, and I know, Josh, you go off topic and this is your show, but I did attend 3 years of dyslexia class between like 3rd and 6th grade. And when there is a vowel, consonant vowel, meaning I-T-I, that second vowel makes the first vowel say its name. So that is why in the word white, W-H-I-T-E, that E makes the I say the I sound. So in your last name, it truly is Whiting because it is vowel, consonant, vowel.
Yeah,
You're
that's what I'm
welcome.
saying. I thought you were about to tell me that everybody who says our name wrong is dyslexic, and I was like, this makes sense now. But no, it's
Or
it's
you've just been saying your last name wrong your whole life.
no, it's
That's
the same.
where I thought this was going. That we were saying it wrong. I was like, that's embarrassing.
Oh no!
No, you guys are right. It is Whiting, according to my, again, 3 years of dyslexia class.
Your dyslexia class.
And basic phonics, like that'll get doctors every day of the week.
Mm-mm. And shout out to the chat right now. We see you guys. Thank you for coming in. So strong. The marksman in the place.
So Ashley, last week we had people on who were much better at a particular aspect of our craft, namely type design and working with fonts. This week, we've got somebody on who is better at another version of the craft, and that is Carson is a fantastic host, like A+ level host MC guy, and so he's just showing up in the show like
bro, and I'm over a year podcast sober. I've been off the pod for over a year, dude. Yeah, man. So this is a relapse for me, and there's just no rules today.
I love it. Well, guys, we've already done like a baby intro. We would love for y'all to tell us a little bit about each of yourselves. We're going to do everything in round robin today, so maybe not the intro because Ashley, we know who she is, but we're going to start with Kiara, and then we're going to do Carson, and then Josh, and then back around to Ashley, and that's how we'll do all these things. So, Kiara, tell us about yourself.
Okay. I'm Kiara. I'm 23. I'm a graphic designer from Baltimore, but I'm currently transitioning to Nashville. And I work for a company called Elevated Faith. I design Christian apparel, like this hoodie.
Nice.
And so, I do that. And then I freelance some as well.
Nice. Is it possible to be a graphic designer and not also freelance?
I would say no.
Yeah, it's impossible. You gotta have that. You gotta have that side action going on. Impossible. Carson, what about you, my dude?
Well, as you can tell from my banner, I am a retired fashion podcaster. Like I said, I'm breaking my sobriety right here in my podcast relapse. I used to host a podcast with a great buddy of mine. Our podcast is called Fits of Faith. It was about faith and fashion. And so we would interview all types of people throughout the creative and Christian world, the likes of which Bright Colio, the brightest Cole himself, burned bright on the pod, maybe episode 3 or 4. And then I weaseled him into designing our logo. And so if you're like, do I know that guy? You're like, does that cowboy hat look familiar? You're correct. I did do the theme song for Josh's Branding on a Budget.
That's
rap.
right.
So that is me rapping in my car. Okay, guys, stop. Stop spamming the chat. Okay, stop. But yeah, I used to host a fashion podcast, and I'm just a big fan of Josh. And so I call him like once a week and review the episodes and just talk about it. And I'm like, dude, how can I get on the podcast? You should try this. Oh, you should do this. Oh, I thought this was funny. And so here I am today. Joshua Louder in the chat. Appreciate you. I remember you engaging with Fits of Faith as a faithful member of the Garmy, as we were called.
Garmy.
I wanted to ask you that. What is Garmy?
The Garment Army.
Okay, that's what I figured.
The name of our fandom.
Garmy.
The fandom.
Just like how y'all's fandom is the Marksman. Am I right?
I don't know. I've never named our.
Like, I understand what you're saying now. When you kept calling yourself a marksman, that's really witty. I like that.
Making a mark.
So listen, for those of you who this is your first time experiencing Carson, y'all definitely do need to check out. You don't have to listen to the whole episode. Like, forget the episode, but listen to the intros that Carson does for his guests. It's what I should be doing, but I'm not smart or dedicated enough. He will write basically like a rap, like a full rap to introduce each of his guests. So I do the lazy thing. Say, hey, Kiara, can you please introduce yourself to my people so I can rest for a second? And then say he's got a custom thing cooked up ready for your episode.
And here's the secret. You want to know what the secret is, Josh? Like, for instance, Kiara and Ashley, the intros would be like, he's the prince of the pixels, the lord of the lasso tool. Or the liaison of logos. Like, you just pick one thing somebody does, and then you just think
alliterations.
Of an alliteration of a word that is like a leader, and that's it. But Ash, I thought of you if I was doing it today, and I was like, she's the New Mexican Flexican.
Oh
yes,
making a New Mexican Flexigan.
I like it. I'll take it.
All right. Yeah. Carson, listen. So if you ever need a gig, you ever want to dabble your toes in the podcast world again, we can have you on for 80 seconds every episode where you just do intros and then you're out.
Okay,
like
cool.
that.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about it. It's fine. Well, yeah.
It's like the late night talk shows.
I'll
where they
send
have
you
the
an
guy
invoice.
that
It's
plays
fine.
he's like does the little bing bong bing with the host, plays the drums, and then he's out.
Yeah, dude, I love
super
that.
Interesting.
Part of me too, in all honesty, guys, I wanted to try to look like Josh for this airing. So I actually brought another hat, and then I thought
That was a really smooth transition.
if I just had a mustache and then
she's
artwork
gone.
and stuff. Yeah,
Stash is gone.
So that was my other attempt, was that I was going to just recreate your environment, but such is life. I was not able to.
I'm a special, unique snowflake.
Okay, let's talk about Kiara.
Kiara, though, dog, you got some cool stuff going on here.
Thank you.
Ashley picks out our How You Made It thing.
Yes,
And
I do.
we want to talk about this guy right here, Taste and See.
Okay.
I like that little guy.
What's the
I thought it was
backstory?
cool.
Okay, so sometimes I get these random ideas. So a lot of my posts aren't like, there's not like a lot of thought that goes into them. I really just like wake up some days and I'm like, that's a good
You
idea.
feel dangerous. You wake up feeling dangerous.
Yeah, so for this one, I really just woke up and I was like, that verse was like on my mind. And I was like super into like the vintage, like branding type thing. And so I was like,
Super.
I was
With
like,
the
this, oh yeah,
Super.
that's actually smart.
The
But
jokes today.
I know I need to catch up. But yeah, no, I was like, this is either gonna be like super weird or like super genius. And I think it airs on the side of genius a little bit, I hope.
Oh, it's awesome.
But yeah, so
That
I
is
got
great.
this is an old Campbell's like soup advertisement, and I just like photoshopped the alphabet soup letters and changed them to say taste and see, and then I edited out the original text and added the verse and all that stuff.
I think it's awesome. I love it.
Thank
That
you.
looks great. The only thing that would make it better is if that A noodle was a cross and we just had some freaking macaroni cross noodles. But again, for next time.
I'll keep
Next time.
I'll keep
It's just
that
like,
in
again, is
mind.
it Christian if it doesn't have a cross on it?
I
You
don't
know,
know.
so
The deep thoughts.
Nothing compares. I love the little tag here. Carson, you're building more and more of a job for yourself here. So you could
I'm
also
pretty
come
sure
in.
Carson's gonna take my spot here pretty soon. He's like,
I could never. I could
No.
never. I am so outclassed. You know, I know my way around a Photoshop, you know, Illustrator, but I am just
I
so
think-
outclassed with present company. Like
I think that's
this would
part of
take
the
me
beauty, though,
years.
of you providing notes for people.
Exactly.
You're like, actually, though, just a quick note, Tammy Coker. One thing that would make this even better. No, so I would love to hear about. So I've been sent this Elevated Faith stuff as like reference material
yeah,
for projects and stuff. Like, oh, we really like this vibe. Can you like do this for us? I said, well, that's a sweatshirt, not a logo, but yeah, I hear you. But yeah, tell me, give me the spiel on, and what's the difference in elevated and elevated faith?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I guess I'll first differentiate the two. Elevated Faith is what is the original brand.
The OG, the mama brand.
Yes. And then Elevated is meant to be more like premium streetwear leaning kind of thing. Like
Okay.
your comfort stuff. So that started like a little over a year ago. But the main thing is Elevated Faith. So like that stuff's all like a higher price point, like more like
That's real nice.
I mean, Elevated Faith is still great, but like this is just like a
This will be a little more of your tithe. Like, do 10% to the Lord and then 20% to the elevated fam.
But Elevated Faith is so neither of these are mine. I just work here. But
yeah, but what's your role in the mix here? What are you doing
I
for
design
these
all the
guys?
apparel.
Ooh.
So all the apparel is me.
So
and
you said these aren't mine, but I do everything that you see and care about in these brands.
No, I mean
Like,
just
it's
like
not my
I feel like-
deal.
I feel like sometimes people are confused. Like this is not my company. Like I really just work here. But I
No,
design the apparel. Yes.
Who's driving the stream right now? Is this Ash or Josh? Who
Me.
controls it? Go to the mountain one that says Faith, like that sweatshirt one. 'Cause that looks freaking awesome.
How far ago was this
There,
guy?
bottom
Yeah,
left.
Faith
Yeah,
on
that
the
looks so
mountain.
sick.
Oh yeah, big
I
fan.
love that.
that's cool.
So are you guys counting as a little nod to our topic today? Are you guys? I'm seeing a lot of these fun like bubble letters and a little bit of like, I always hate to say 70s style because it just feels so like
Mhm.
narrow. But I feel there's definitely some of that coming through in a lot of this.
Mm-hmm.
Having been exposed to this brand for about 13 minutes, and I don't know your deep, rich back history. Is that going to be something that's like central to the deal here, or is it just kind of what you guys are flowing in right now? So maybe another cooler way to say, is this a current capsule or drop, or is that like the brand forever?
No, it kind of just changes on the mood for each drop. So right now we've been doing, I think, pretty much a release every month. I'm pretty sure. The past year, I'm pretty sure that's what we did.
That seems like a lot of work.
We don't have like a set style per se. I mean, like there's definitely like we know our audience, so like there's like an audience we cater towards. But like I'm not going into the design process thinking like this has to hit all 3 boxes. It's just kind of what I feel like doing. So I guess like, yeah, for this current season, yes, that is what we're leaning towards.
That's cool.
I love it.
Do they give you like a design prompt? Like they're like, hey, we want something that says, what a friend we have in Jesus. And then like you create based off of that. Are you coming up with these phrases and these looks and all that?
For the most part, it's kind of collaborative actually. So like sometimes I just have like these ideas and I'm like, oh, I think this will be a sick design and I'll send it. Other times we have like a Google Doc where it's like a bunch of quotes and stuff that we already like, and I'll like sift through that and I'm like, what do you guys think of these quotes? And then I'll just like run from there.
Cool.
I love it.
Yes.
All right, Coop. Tell us about what's your turn at the helm?
At the helm. Okay, well, Fits of Faith started.
Hold on. This is not that. This is not what you're doing. This is tell me about the Arnold.
That's the one I picked.
Okay, so back out. Just back out half a Cheerio. So before Arnold, if you go down to the bottom left, unlocking the uniform, Daryl Kim. These are like the episode titles we would do for our guests. So the name of the episode was Unlocking the Uniform. Guest Daryl Kim. He's a really cool Australian dude who just started getting into clothes, posting TikToks. Now like is with a modeling agency and doing a lot. Just a really cool man of God. Praise him. Praise God, that is. Anyways, so we post the episode title, and then if you click out, then go to Arnold. Then we have kind of like a mood board of things we talked about in the pod. So again, we talked about this footwear brand he was really into. If you go back, Steve Irwin, may he rest in peace. Daryl, who was Australian, found tons of vintage FFA gear. So which was ironic because I went to school with kids that did FFA. And then talked about bodybuilding and his fitness and like 70s style. So that's why the Arnold pick came in. And then if you go back out one more time, the next episode of him with the foot is like our altar call, which would be like the post episode. So it'd be like we would run back through the segments and he would like answer other questions. So that's like how we would sandwich the posts of like episode title, mood board, altar call, episode title.
Cool.
Man, you're just killing it. Like you say, I'm not a designer, but you're definitely a more responsible host than I am because we're real hit or miss on our stuff.
Mm-hmm. I was with Fits of Faith. I was probably like primary like guest booker, interview, question asker kind of brand at the helm, and then my co-host Theo handled all like the production of the episodes, as well as like supporting questions and commentary. And he's probably more of like the Ash in terms of like the I don't know, straight, like the person that's like not as goofy and crazy. And then I'm probably more the Josh that's like, oh, what's going on? Okay,
I love
but
that
here
impersonation.
As I laugh in real
he's
life.
like, daggum, Bubba. Those are some good looking logos, dude. Double nuggets. Those are some good ones, dude. Anyways, wait, go back to me. I wanna talk about me more.
Deal.
The number one thing that helped us grow Fits of Faith. Now go to the one that's the young lady next to Sarah Jurors on the couch.
Boom.
On Sundays, folks, people would tag us in their outfits.
I know this guy.
And we would repost their outfits on Sunday mornings, like to our story.
That's a sick shirt.
That's
and then
cool.
those people would repost us reposting them of their stories. So it literally was free like advertisement for the podcast.
Yeah.
And then we would like post our favorite fits from that week every day. So as Josh has told, you guys, send us in your logo, send us in your thing. Like in your brand, if you can build something that like gives your audience a chance to engage and then you pay attention to them, they're very excited about that. Like, again, the fact that people posted a picture to their story and then they reposted the exact same picture, but it was just with our like name on top of it. It was like someone co-signed me and I want to share that the world, like that they accepted me. But you know what I mean? Where it's like someone posted a picture of their story and then they reposted the same picture. It's like, you didn't need it twice, but they were so stoked that something they cared about liked them.
Right.
So if you can do that, that's huge. And then the other thing, Josh, that I did that was huge for Fits of Faith was every time someone followed me, folks, or us, I sent them a DM and a voice memo. Every single person. And I said,
wow,
the
really
DM said, hey, thank you so much for following. This is what you can expect. And then I would look at their profile and I'd say, oh, hey, Kiara, thank you so much for following us. Man, the stuff you're doing is amazing. I'm really excited to, follow along. Be sure to tag us in your outfit. See ya.
Man,
and that like
way
15
to keep social human.
Bro, that 15-second investment was huge. Anybody, again, Josh or anybody in here that listens to the episode, go look at your DMs. Guarantee you got one from me. But
I never got
people
one.
would be, well, I mean, have you met you? Have you met you?
Well, I don't,
you know
what
I mean? You were sending me some weird end times prophecy stuff that your uncle sent you, and so I just didn't feel comfortable. Anyways, but like, there he is co-signing me. That 15-second investment into like, thank you for following along made huge like fans of the show.
Well,
and people that were
that's part of the branding universe, right? That was your brand.
It
was feeling that. There you go.
Because let's be real. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, Carson, but a lot of people aren't showing up to the show to maybe get smarter about fashion, but that's kind of like the byproduct and like the unexpected outcome. I feel like a lot of people were there like, this is wildly entertaining. I enjoy you and Thea's like repartee. I don't know if that's the right word. I'm going to throw it out there though. And I think it's
repertoire.
You know what I'm saying? And like, no, like the back and forth, the bada bing.
The volley,
sauce,
like
the
playing
banter.
volleyball. Oh yeah.
Anyway, and so like I feel like what you did was just give them a little custom piece of that exact same thing in a voice memo, and I feel like that's really applicable for, again, businesses, churches. Anytime you're trying to build relationships with things, unless you're trying to, I mean, I guess if you're trying to blow up and be an influencer too, like, hey, look at me doing stuff. But if you're trying to have meaningful interactions with people, and that's why you're on social media, that's a great way to immediately ground every new like little expression of interest in a.
But even if you were trying to become some influencer, how would you become someone's favorite influencer ever? You paid attention
by talking
to them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, and they're going to be like, oh, Ash Ulmer responded to my thing. And then she liked a couple pictures. And like, I went and bought her hats because she paid attention to me.
Yeah.
Like that tiny investment of a more human-centered approach is huge for distinguishing yourself. Like in my work all day long. Oh, go on, Josh. It's your show, dude. I'm so sorry, bro.
What I'm hearing is that we need to be asking people for pictures of their outfits, and then we'll reshare those as making a mark, right? Like we just need more fit pics over here. Just rip that idea directly. No, but for real, let us know in the chat, like because I feel like I've asked, like, hey, we'll show us your work, we'll share your work, and we've done it with the doodles, and the people that consistently doodle are the people that I forced to doodle in the episode. So like what would be an interesting, fun, engaging version of that for this show? Workshop us here, baby.
I mean, I think it's either recent work or like what Kiara, is it Kiara or Kiara? Kiara, excuse me. What Kiara just posted with her Campbell's chicken noodle soup, like it wasn't from what I understand, it wasn't like a piece you're commissioned to make or a logo for someone. It was just art. So it's like tag making the mark, tag us in your work. We want to repost your work. And so it's not just logos.
Prompts. Like
it's literally anything.
A little pro-church media action.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's literally just tag us in anything and we'll repost it. Again,
I like
people
that. Tag us in anything at all and we will share.
Your grandma's birthday post. Tag us, please.
Recipes. Tag us. I love it. Anything. Well, guys, let's we've been nosing around the topic. Let's go ahead and jump on into it.
Good.
So again, talking about more than just a logo, and we throw around the word brand a good bit. And the reason I wanted to talk about this with you guys is you've done it. You've created an ecosystem, a universe, a world beyond a logo and a word that people will say like, oh yeah, I can see that post in a feed. I can feel this garment said, if not their stuff, it looks like their stuff. Like this smacks of that brand. And Miss Whiting, even as you guys are doing the, different drops and stuff like that, I would assume that somebody could look at one from earlier in the year and later in the year and know that, it's from the same group. So Ashley, you're up first, but talk to us about how, and you've done this as well, but like how do you create a brand beyond the mark, beyond just the logo? Man, that's the better name for the show today.
Beyond
the mark.
Dang, we need to change it. Well, yeah, I like that. Cowboy Coop kind of opened us up with like talking about a brand that's more of a feeling than it is the actual like aesthetic of the brand. Because, well, first of all, I wanted to say this before I forget this thought. Like, to me, a brand that builds a universe and builds a community and a heart behind it is those little subtle things that a brand will do like to make you remember them. So like a good example, I saw this on a documentary the other day, is chewy.com. So are you guys familiar with that? It's like the dog stuff. They send you dog stuff. I found out, I don't use Chewy, but I'm actually debating just because of this, that when you sign up for chewy.com, so basically it's like a monthly subscription. They send you dog products for, your animals and stuff. And they know your dog's birthday. They know everything about your dog. And they actually like, whenever your dog passes away, they'll send you flowers after. I don't know how they know the dog, but I'm assuming because you cancel your subscription and they're like, why'd you cancel? Oh, my dog passed away. They send you flowers. And you're like, I'm so sorry. No, but seriously.
I know, that's amazing.
I mean,
Ash, that is phenomenal.
Think how much money that costs them, because they're not like the subscription's done because obviously the dog's gone.
Yeah.
But for them to like care enough to send flowers, I thought that was so cool. Like that probably cost them millions of dollars a year, but just the actual relationship, because for sure, that person who lost their dog is going to tell their mom to go use Chewy, or when they get another dog, they're for sure coming back. Like that's huge. Like I thought that was such a cool way to kind of like build in the relational aspect of the brand. So those kind of things, like that kind of stuff that brands do, I think that's what builds the universe. Like it's not even necessarily their logo looks cool. It's the actual people behind the brand.
That's so good. That's so good. And I think that, let's in one world, let's say they're only maniacal, like money grubbing people. They're like, hey, this is a clever way to leverage the machine and get mom to buy stuff. And when your replacement pump comes in, like, well, we got you on the hook because we sent you flowers. Like, right. I would like to assume that the person that thought of that, and probably a lot of the staff that works there, especially in leadership, they're like pet people. And so like when you care about your target audience, it goes a long way. And when you have a defined audience, it helps a ton too. When you're doing those little touches or little things, like knowing that, hey, this is a big moment in a pet owner's life, like working backwards from them rather than what can we do to get more butts in seats, or what can we do to make more sales or land more projects, saying like, where's my customer? What are they experiencing? What's going on in their world? And then let me like wrap things around that. Like, let me show, hey, like, I get you, youth pastor. I get you, creative director at a church.
Because essentially,
I know what your week looks like and like build around it.
Right. Because like the brand you're building, like there is no brand if you're not building it around your target audience or your customer base, right? Like that is your brand. So like
you're just walking into the room, you're like, what up? It's me.
Right. Exactly. So it's kind of like building that rapport. And I just want to say, I apologize if you guys can hear my chicken freaking out in the background. That's why I keep muting myself. Can you hear her? She's like freaking out right now.
No.
Okay, good. Sorry.
Remember that episode where we went outside and we're like with the chickens? Like you went on Instagram Live back when it was Freelance Fridays and we did the chicken episode. That was totally a lot of fun.
It was the best.
Kiara, what would you say? So you guys have done a good bit of this already, but when we just say the words like brand universe, like how do we put some handles on that and make it a little bit more practical and applicable?
I think really, like when you're talking about building a brand or a brand universe, I think when I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking about like authenticity, I guess, but maybe not even authenticity as much as like building something relatable, I guess you could say. Like, I love a good design, but I think I'm not really somebody who's just buying a t-shirt because I like necessarily the t-shirt. Like, yeah, I like the design. That's like a big part of it, but I am also buying in a sense because I support like the brand and like what it is they're saying. So I think
like the story behind it. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I think like when you're building a brand or thinking about building a brand, like you need to keep in mind like the brand culture, I guess you would say, like what am I standing for? What are my ideas? Because people buy into that. Like as much as they buy into like what you are selling and what you're offering, they're also taking into account like, oh, I like their mission. I like what they're doing. I like what they're saying. And then that like makes them want to spread it and like, oh, I think this brand's super cool, like stuff like that.
And I would assume that you guys have some like underpinnings for elevated faith. Like it may not be explicitly like written down at headquarters, like the mission statement on the wall or whatever, but it's going to be faith-based. I would assume it's not, I mean, you're not exclusively, but leaning female, leaning younger. And a lot of this stuff looks comfy, and I don't know how much of that is like right now, like athleisure is in, but you know, I would expect those things to come out. And so you're thinking like, okay, we've kind of narrowed our person or our brand down to a, you know, a sort of a person. Like what are meaningful things in her life and like what's going on in her world that we can wrap around with that stuff. But I guess that's the super distorted, weird way of asking, like, do you guys have any of those things like, hey, we never do these things, or we always do this in every drop?
I wouldn't say there's like, I mean, we definitely have like, we know our target audience, which like you said is like primarily younger and female. So that's like primarily what I design towards with a mix of unisex design sprinkled in there. But yeah, I think overall, like what we're always creating towards is like that target customer, but also something that, because our ultimate goal is like sharing the gospel, like with what you're wearing. So like everything has like messaging on it, but we also want it to be, you're sharing the gospel, but it's something you want to wear, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like not necessarily like, here's a Bible verse, but like this looks cool. And like conversation starters, I guess. That's a thing we throw around a lot, is like, what are you trying to say? And like giving people a tool to say it.
For sure.
Love that. We've got a question from Dustin down here. Would love to hear more about the deal for Toby Mac release. Do you want to unpack that one for us a little bit? Do you guys do a special drop for him?
No, I think he's talking about, I did his album packaging and like single covers and stuff like that.
Oh, even cooler.
Yeah,
so
that is cooler.
Do we want to do a little story time?
We would love a story time.
Yeah, tell us.
The question is, talk about Toby Mac.
I was waiting for this to come up. I never throw this out there. I just like wait for somebody to say something. But yeah, I started working with him in March of last year. So I met him at like concerts and stuff, like meet and greets and stuff as a kid. Huge Toby Mac fan. And I bring designs, like drawings and stuff. So my art account started because I would make like fan art basically. And I would take them to shows and meet and greets and I would give them to the artists, but not necessarily thinking like, oh, I'm going to be a graphic designer. I had no intention of like that happening. But I bring them these designs, these drawings, and then slowly people would be like, oh, like that's really cool. Like we want to use that for X, Y, and Z or whatever. So I was like, okay, maybe there's like something to this. So I kind of like started networking that way. And I met Toby a few times. And last year he messaged me. He was coming to Baltimore for a show. I made a Jesus Freak t-shirt because I always make my own concert apparel.
I love that. And then
so
you go to the meet grill. I made this.
Literally, so I made a Jesus Freak t-shirt and I posted it on Instagram like a day or two before the show, and he messaged me and was like, that's so sick. I've been meaning to hit you up. I was like, what are you talking about? So he was like, I've been meaning to hit you up. I want you to work on something. And so I didn't know necessarily what I was getting into.
That's
He
so
was just like,
cool.
he just sent me the title Life After Death and like a bit of a prompt. And then we talked about it. He was in Baltimore for 2 nights. I went to night 2. We talked about it at the show. And then we weren't really liking the direction. So then the way the releases worked was The Goodness is the single, one of the singles off of the album. That was coming out first. So we needed to really like lock in that single cover. So we shifted gears from Life After Death to The Goodness. And he sent me the song and he's like, I'm not going to tell you like what to do. I just want to send you the song. You listen to it and tell me what you come up with. So terrifying. I love working without like guidelines, but it's so scary when people are like, because people are like, oh, I've seen what you can do. So it's like no pressure. So he sends me the song. I sent him a few designs and he went with what I was hoping he would pick, but I didn't think he was going to pick it since it's more abstract leaning. But yeah, he picked that. And then that's how like the branding for Life After Death, like everything just like kind of fell into place after doing the Goodness cover. We were like, we like those colors and all of that. So then we piggybacked everything off of that. But like the meaning from the Goodness cover was like, so he sends me the song. I don't know if you guys have heard the song. But it's basically just talking about like the goodness of God and all this stuff. So the whole album is Life After Death. Like his son died, his son passed away. So like a lot of the album is about life after death. And so he sent me the song, The Goodness, and it's a very like feel good, like upbeat song. But when I was illustrating, like trying to illustrate something for the cover, I was like, how am I supposed to create something that like shows the goodness of God for everyone? So that's how I got more of like the abstract part of things, because I didn't want to like depict something like one thing necessarily that puts it in focus for one person's story when I could do something more abstract and like kind of yeah.
Oh man, I love this.
That looks awesome. I love it.
Thank you.
It's so sick.
Man, that's great. Yeah, and I love that very like Hallmark ready story that you just told. Like when I was a kid, I used to design like fan art, and then I met my hero, and then my hero hired me for a job, and he says, I don't know, go run with it. And it wasn't working at first, and then we went into I see that's the real moment of terror for me, is not, oh, we got to meet him, oh, he's like actually DMing me. It is, ooh, we're working through ideas, and he's maybe wondering if he made a bad choice by talking to me about this. And you're like, I gotta nail it round 2. I gotta nail it round 2. Like that pressure would gotta be intense.
I was like, if this does not work out, I'm going into retirement, finding a new career.
This is it. This is my one shot. Peaked at 23. That's funny. All right, Carson, your jacket's up. You're ready to go. You're nice and warm.
Yeah, guys,
now.
I'm so sorry. I was so cold. I live in Colorado, and it's been like 0 degrees all week. So your boy was a little chilly. So my deepest condolences to all the marksmen and women out there. Also, Josh, this is why I'm telling you. How did you not know Kiara is Toby Mac's go-to pixel lady?
Because I feel like that ruins some of the magic of this conversation for me. Like I want to be guests as we're doing these.
Well, shout out to the Big D, Dustin Harper, for coming in with that layup.
Otherwise, you guys would have never known.
People show up in the chat.
Never known.
Dustin. And
we would not know
Josh
we're in the presence of Toby Mac royalty without
Oh my
Dustin
gosh.
Harper right here. We would not know we are in the presence of a certified Jesus freak.
Jesus freak.
What's the question?
No, like I'm realizing I was having a conversation with my wife the other day, and I said, there's no such thing as a famous graphic designer, because you walk down the street, Kiara, and you say like, oh, I did the graphic design for Toby Mac's album cover, and they're like, oh, Toby Mac I've heard of. You?
Yeah,
like, like in any other context, you're like, oh, I was featured on Toby Mac's song, like, or like, I played this festival as a musician, but like, no, the most famous of us are still just only famous to other designers. It's and I'm frankly good with that, but it's just like an interesting thing I tried on for size the other day. It's like the people who are gods among us, like anyone that's not a designer does not care, does not give a flying rip about them. It's kind of freeing though. All right, Carson, so your question is really broad. It is, how would you go about creating a brand universe? What goes into that? What levers do you pull? What
Okay,
makes it
first and
happen?
foremost, folks, we need to find a niche. Okay, people listen to Fits of Faith because it was about faith and fashion. Here's my commentary, right? Celebrities can talk about nothing, right? Celebrities can just jab on about the life win, whatever.
Yeah.
Nobodies have to talk about something. Nobodies is us, right? We're not world famous, whatever. Nobody will
Let's hear it for
listen
the
to
nobodies.
no one will listen to a podcast or a brand about nobodies talking about nothing. Okay, so it has to like have a niche. So I would pick something incredibly niche that I'm passionate about. First and foremost, that's what we do, because there are subcultures for picking locks, right? There's lock picking subculture that people watch those videos, and there are. All of you are into your own like kind of weird thing. You're like, oh yeah, I watch these videos about like plant health and just about plants or whatever, right? So I'd find that niche, and then create some sort of experience in it depending on what the thing is I'm making. Let's pretend it's clothing. I would want to make it something that I want to wear. Typically I don't want something that just has some goofy logo on it. I want like some sort of artwork or something having to do with something I'm passionate about. And I would make that, and then I would make, YouTube and shorts and social content that goes along with it. And then I would just thank every single person that ever did anything with my page. They commented, or if they liked, I'd respond to every single comment. If they followed me, I send them a DM. If they bought something, I would send them a whatever. And then even doing some of the fun stuff like, RIP to your canine Chewy opportunity. So when my wife and I bought our mattress from Tuft and Needle years ago, Tuft and Needle mattress brand, we like shared with them that we just got married and was our, just moved in together, and they sent us like an additional care package that had like a mint plant that you could pot, a mug, I should bring them down, but it's like custom branded Tuft and Needle playing cards. Like
cool.
They were extremely cool. Like,
That's
hey,
wild.
as you're doing this. And so it was that tiny gesture. They paid attention to us. And of course, maybe it was like a filter in their Salesforce, like first time buyer, new home. And it triggered to do this thing. But again, it's like,
Even so,
yeah, that's
somebody set that thing up.
Yeah, totally. So that's the mattress we're buying again, that I recommend to other people. I've thought about, this is breaking news, but it's not real news. Okay. So it's breaking news, but it's not real news. I've thought about another podcast, Josh.
Okay.
That I would do. Again, this is not breaking news. It's breaking, but it's not. But it's like centered around this, like, because I can't say it and then I'm gonna have to do it. But it's centered around an incredibly like niche thing, and I think there's like people that would want to watch and engage with that. And then I think the other part of brand universe that I'm observing that's doing really well is like a meme approach. For instance, Liquid Death had a huge year. Liquid Death sparkling water did like 2 billion in sales this year. Jeez. And it was a non-spectacular product. Like it's just the same sparkling mountain water as something else on the shelf, but they're like approach to water. It was like this oxymoron, like meme. We're hardcore. We're crazy. Can I make fun of myself? I think that would be a huge distinguisher, especially in a world of like, here's a day in my life. Today, I'm going to be going to the gym, drinking my matcha, and absolutely killing this workout. Follow along for more. Like for part 2. Yeah. So anyways, I would make it very human and very like making fun of myself and the goofy thing that we're interested in. Again, like for our Fits of Faith, like episode bio in the podcasting app, it said 2 Christians talking about fashion, the hard-hitting content the world needed. You know what I mean? Like no one needed this. Like the world did not need this, but we found an audience of mostly men, but also women that were like into fashion, but also faith. And it was this outlet for them to listen to stuff. Exactly. It's like we don't need this. Like the world's not like, please, I hope there's 2 Christian guys that make a podcast. No, they need like plumbers. You know what I mean? Like we don't need any more like aesthetic, whatevers. We need like people actually doing it. But we love that stuff. So that's my broad answer to your broad question.
Did you guys ever touch on the preachers and sneakers stuff? Did you guys ever talk about that kind of stuff, or is it different?
We were like the opposite.
Heard of that.
Opposite. Okay,
we were literally the opposite. So we did an episode that was all about like the ethics of GARMs, where it was like, hey, is it okay to be into clothes? Absolutely. Do you need to pay your tithes, bills, and otherwise? Absolutely. But if you're working hard for your money, you can invest it in stuff you like. So we were kind of the opposite of preachers and sneakers, where we would like highlight
preachers
stuff
don't
we
have
liked
enough
about.
sneakers.
I'm actually a non-sneaker guy. I don't really gravitate towards sneakers myself. So I don't like the like, oh, sick Jordan 1s. It's like, oh yeah, dude, those are killer. Where'd you get those? Like the outlets? You know what I'm saying? It's just like, and I'm here for it. And it's just follow your heart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I followed my own trail, if you know what I'm saying.
See,
why are you laughing, Josh?
The soundboard, actually,
because
I'm imagining funnier things than what you're saying.
Yeehaw!
Yeah, if we had a little, like a little eagle screech and like a, in that moment, that would have really minted that.
Also, shout out Joshua Louder. Learned a lot about Birkenstocks. Yeah, put in the work in the Birks. You can also rock socks and stocks. That's another thing we're always, passionate about. So, yeah, I mean, that would be the thing. It would be niche, it would be personal, and it would be not deprecating, but like reverential and of like, hey, let's get real. What we're doing here is not that important. Right. But we all have our own little stuff we're into.
For sure.
And I feel like that piece of it that you just described is like the sauce on top. It's like the icing on the cake. And sometimes that icing is sweet. Sometimes it's like really like tangy and weird. Like that matters. Like you got to have the underpinnings, like the foundation of, well, I'm here because I want to learn about coffee. And so there's a guy, James Hoffman. Basically, if you ask any person who is like remotely interested in brewing better coffee at home, James Hoffman's like the guy on YouTube. Right?
Any of the Bean Boys out there?
Yeah.
Any of the Bean Boys out there? Papa needs his bean juice, huh?
He's very serious. He's very clinical. He is very precise in like the way he speaks, the way he measures stuff, like all that stuff. And like, would I stop watching if he was like really funny and goofy? No. Like I'm there for the information. And I like that as long as your like personality doesn't get in the way. And in some cases it like really enhances.
Oh, dude.
And in the case of Liquid Death, like you could build a brand on only personality, right? But I think that usually it's tough to do that. Hey, I'm going to be an influencer. I'm just popular, or hey, I'm going to pull a Liquid Death and just like, make sewer cleaning like super cool or interesting.
But what if you did? What if you took the most boring thing that everyone uses and you just made the cool version of it? And it's not even any different, but it's like, oh yeah, on the shelf, there's all this crap of toilet bowl cleaner. Yeah. And I went to the one called like, what do we call it? Like bowling alley or poo be gone or, lickety split, streak free, streak lightning, whatever.
Yeah,
and it was just like,
no, legitimately, there like a couple years ago, we had like a major issue with our plumbing downstairs, and we called this company in town only because their name was the Turd Nerds. Like we thought it was the funniest thing, and we're like, we're gonna go with the Turd Nerds. I mean, they actually ended up kind of sucking. I'm not gonna lie, we actually had to go with somebody else, but we went with them because of their branding. But I was gonna say a perfect example of that is, do you guys remember Dollar Shave Club? I mean, they're still around, but like.
Same thing.
Their early campaigns, like 2014, 2015, like they were that I remember one of the first ones to come out with those like kind of like staunchy, witty, commercial.
It's like an infomercial one shot, like making fun of infomercials kind of vibe.
Yeah, kind of. And then, but I don't know. It was just, I feel like that marketing was huge and that blew them up. Like, I don't know. And it's just a razor.
Now
you know what I mean? It's no different.
Yeah. And I think so much of what we're doing is that, but like what we're talking about is creating, and this, wow, we're getting really waxing poetic here. Talking about creating connection, creating relationships in unexpected ways. Like, hey, yeah, you could buy baking soda. You could, do service or whatever. But if you can find a way to make somebody like smile or think more about that or feel something while they're doing that, and this is a truly America in the past 200 years concept of like people should feel things while they're having transactions notion. But another one that I feel like makes sense is that little delight factors. And again, to kind of piggyback on what everybody said, like you need to know who your person is. You need to have, something that you're striving towards. But once you get beyond that, don't just say, okay, cool, we've got our avatar. We know what person we're trying to get to show up for our thing. We know what person I'm trying to sell to, who's got the decision-making ability and the leadership chain, any of that stuff. You think like, okay, cool, I'm that person. What are little things that I've experienced, like you were saying with the tuft and needle, like they did not need to send you a follow-up care package. Playing cards have nothing to do with what they're doing, but it's unexpected and delightful. And it does not take a lot of money or time to do those things. And it also, Carson, you said this is probably automated. It's probably some like intern's job to go stuff the packages every week of all the new orders 2 weeks after. And it's just a thing firing on automation. But
regardless,
that
they
didn't make
still
it any
did
less
it.
special. Yeah. And somebody is not like weeping at Chewy because your dog died. But did they care enough to at least set the machine up, set up the process in place to go do that thing? And consistently doing that over and over again over years, like it really does pay off. I've seen the fruits of that in some of the stuff that I've set up that are similar to these things. But
especially for like a company like a Tuft and Needle, like to put that extra effort in, because it's not like you're going to come back and buy a new mattress every year. You know what I mean? Like that's a 7 to 8 year, commitment. But just the fact that they're doing that, that you're going to come on things like this and be like, oh yeah, Tuft and Needle. Like you're just going to talk about it. And by you saying that is planting a seed in someone's ear that's listening and be like, oh, I want to try Tuft and Needle now. You know what I mean? Like that's exactly, and it's, I don't know, that's that extra sauce that brand has,
I have a question for the group as well as the chat. Be sure to drop it in the chat. You have to start a brand based on one of your passions tomorrow. What would that thing be? You don't have to outline the whole brand, but what would it be? Is it Bright Beans, the Bright Cold Coffee Company? Who's to say? Is it Internet Friends Volume 2? Guys, make sure to go buy your Internet Friends hats. Link will be in the show notes.
He's so good.
But you have to start a brand next week based on your passion. Josh, go first. And then drop us in the chat what you're passionate about in your brand starting. Josh, go first.
Okay. So something I'm not involved in now.
Yeah, it's not design related. It's not logos. It's not like I'm going to start selling mouse pads with my logos on them. You can't do that, dude.
Yeah, that's a tough one because like whatever I do, it would definitely touch design stuff.
Bro, I could see you golf club accessories or golf club like heads for your clubs that are just super sick, personalized initial logo craziness.
Yeah, that could be. I would be down for that. I would go down that road for sure.
Okay, Ash, your turn.
I would do. I mean, I feel like a lot of like what I create is kind of in this vein, but I think I would do stuff with. I mean, I just love like nostalgia, like 90s nostalgia, like the culture that we grew up back then. Like, I don't know, stuff back then. I don't know, more products with that, or even making like a community. Like there's an account I follow. It's called, what is it? I don't know. It's called Only 90s Kids Know or something like that. Like something like that. Like just like a brand,
maybe a brand that does like wallet chains that you could, link to your belt loops.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
It's like
this is a little tough, Carson, because I feel like Ashley and I like just whenever we have an idea, we go do it. And so like the fun, I'm in the fun side project. Oh my God, that's not what I was going with. I'm saying like
about me is if I have an idea, dude, I go after it. That's the thing about me though. So that's what makes me different. All right, Kiara, your turn.
What you don't know?
I don't know. This is a hard one. You're putting me on the spot here.
I know.
Yeah, well.
I wasn't prepared mentally for this.
Nope.
It's just, what are you passionate about that you could?
Here's what I want to do after we go around is I want us to all four of us workshop the pet project together and develop
good.
like not first 90 days brand strategy to create an ecosystem based off of your idea. So your idea doesn't matter. Like you don't have
I'm
to
gonna
go do
change mine when we go around. I have a better
it.
idea.
Okay.
I have a better idea for
Kiara,
you too, Ash. So we'll see if they line up. Okay,
Okay.
Kiara, go.
I think
Go.
for me, I think I would do. I don't know. I like storytelling, like hearing people's stories, documentary type thing. And it would definitely have to involve design. I know you said it shouldn't be design involved, but it would be design involved. I don't know. I think maybe doing like some type of storytelling, maybe like a magazine, like a fun, but like not like your traditional magazine, you know?
Yeah,
like
not like paper.
Like a cool looking, like I want to look at this, but then like you're drawn in design wise, but like then you read this, you stay for the story. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, very cool.
Thanks.
I'm gonna change mine as well.
Okay, go for it.
Well,
Right,
what's yours? Tell us, Cowboy Coop.
Let's
we got to go down to Carson
about
first.
me.
We're doing the round robin. You're breaking the round robin.
I know. I have an idea for like a store, like a physical shop that's like it would be Colorado. It's like called Colorado Surf Club or like Rocky Mountain Surf Club, and it combines like mountain lifestyle with like traditional like surf elements because there's no surfing in Colorado. There is river surfing, but like it's this experience of all like types of brands and clothes that I like here because there's no stores that sell the clothes that I like here. So
cool.
I would do that. Or I do have an idea for a brand called like Jacket Buddies. And it's like a subscription service where you can like rent gear for your kids seasonally. So like you can get your kids the nicest Patagonia jacket that they'll never grow out of because you have a membership, you can send it back and then recoup the funds to buy them a jacket for the next season. That's
literally genius because we are going sledding this weekend and my two little ones don't have coats and we like don't need coats here in New Mexico. It's like once in a while. And I'm like, if we just had one coat for this weekend and I could like take it back to Walmart or whatever, that's legit. That's a good idea.
Or you have my approach to parenting. Season block, you get like the gear. So like, okay, everybody's in size 2T and 5T for this kind of next summer. So we bought these things and then we can give them back anyways.
Yeah. That's a great idea.
Jacket Buddies. No one take it.
I'm all writing the notes down.
I'm pivoting mine. So I'm going to be doing, let's say I'm opening a brick and mortar coffee shop.
Okay.
Slinging beans. Ashley, what's your updated idea?
I was thinking about it because I think anything that I would ever want to do would have to be some sort of creative thing. And this is something that I've actually like really thought about doing anyway. But I would love to, this would take a lot of steps, but I would love to learn how to tattoo, like as far as like little flash pieces. But I thought, how cool would it be to create like a mobile like flash studio like that has like a little trailer and then I can like show up at events and do just like little flash pieces. That'd be so sick, but it would take a lot of time, but I don't know.
And it could be called like All Murder.
Yeah. No, but I actually have a name for it already. Should I share it with you?
Sick. No, keep it on the DL. Keep it on the DL.
Okay. I won't share.
You're not ready. My idea for you, Ash, and maybe this is the game we can or the brand we can workshop is like Ash's eggs. And it's cartons of eggs, but the packaging is like bright, crazy colors. And then the eggs themselves have been dyed like hot pink or have stars on them or like they're just crazy.
Yeah.
But then you just crack and it's still just like a normal egg.
And I sell them for like an extremely premium price because like eggs are so expensive now, but they'd be like designer eggs.
Exactly. If you went to this and it's like normal carton, whatever, and then a hot pink like punk rock pack of eggs, you're buying the hot pink punk rock one because like, that looks so much cooler. They're such of a heightened like mindset. They're probably super organic as opposed to, again, just the normal, dull, stupid,
I actually really like that idea because I've thought about selling our eggs, but we just like our girls don't make enough right now to like sell. Like I could sell to like my neighbors maybe. But like we get like 3 eggs a day. Like that would take us years to like grow it. So I would need to get more chickens, but I love that.
That's how it goes. New levels, new devils,
There you go.
All right. Kiara, are you sticking with your original idea?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right. Carson, what did you ever land on an? Yeah, the surf thing or the.
Yeah,
the
I got
kids?
a lot of stuff going
Do the
on
jacket.
right now.
Do the jacket one. That one's so sick.
All right, we're
jacket
doing rent a
buddies, we'll
swag
see.
for kids, jackets exclusively, coffee shop, and did we land on eggs or tattoo cart? You could do both.
Let's go with the egg idea. I like that.
All right.
I think that's cool.
And then Kiara, remind me what yours was.
Mine's not fun like all of yours. Mine's just a magazine.
That magazines are cool.
But what,
Magazines
like,
are honestly the reason I got into design. Like,
what type of
legitimately.
like videos are you watching on YouTube right now that have nothing to do with graphic design, but you're like, oh yeah, I just kind of like watch these videos and they're pretty fun.
Are you asking Kiara?
I'm asking
Mine-
Kiara.
This is gonna be like, I promise I'm not crazy, but it's literally like true crime.
Well, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Okay, boom. You're like,
I love
I'm
that.
planning a murder.
You know what
Life
videos
after death. Am I
love?
right, folks? Life after death. Oh my god.
You know what videos I love that literally have nothing to do with
Yeah.
like
do
what
tell.
I do is I love watching like hair process videos. Like when people dye people's hair and cut it, I
I
love
went through that
watching that.
phase.
Yeah,
I went
I
through
like
that
love
phase.
it. Or like commentary on haircuts and stuff. It's so weird. I would
Did you-
never want to cut
I
hair.
went through a Brad Mondo phase. Of him,
Yes,
like,
Brad
telling
Mondo.
people-
There you go.
Yeah.
Yes, he's
Yeah.
the best. Obsessed with him.
Josh, what's your like guilty pleasure YouTube thing you're just watching right now?
It's probably
Besides like how to be the most successful entrepreneur, like motivation, alpha male motivation
Oh
stuff.
my god.
Besides that.
Yeah, I don't enjoy those things at all. Mine is I don't know how much you guys are into video games. I recently started playing video games again for the first time in like 10 years. And I'm playing something called Overwatch.
Bro,
And
I
it's
did
like a
not know you were a
team-based game.
gamer, dude.
I'm not. I'm a weekend warrior. I'll play a couple hours on the weekend. And the kids let me know. Because I've never felt so small from middle schoolers. It's like, uninstall, bro. Like you're dragging the team down. Like
You're probably playing with our 12-year-old, guaranteed.
they're disappointed in my performance because I'm not putting in the reps after school every day like they are, and it shows.
It's kind of sad,
frankly,
honestly.
It shows. And so yeah, it's
Okay,
like these
cool.
like animated characters and watching like the backstories on them and like how to not die as much and yeah,
Classic.
that's definitely in the guilty pleasure category.
Life after
Hesitate
death, am I
to
right,
say these
folks? You're
words
not
out
done.
loud.
Hey, I don't know who needs to hear this today, but God's not done with you. There is life after the death in that game. Come on, somebody.
Flick the hat. Boom.
He's ready.
Hey, with eyes closed and hands raised, head bowed, eyes closed right now in the chat. If you are ready to accept, what are we talking about, Josh?
So I thought we were gonna workshop everybody's little business
we
models.
basically
life-
did it. Okay, Kiara's crime. It's Kiara crime. Did they get away with it? Again, life after death, probably. She gives stories. She gives the stories life after they've died.
There you go.
It's the same artwork. Ash's eggs, again, they're hot peak carton. They're super rock and roll. They say yeehaw, come get your eggs. And then Josh, it's bright beans. So you show up and it's golf simulator in the coffee shop. So we're ripping drives while we're dripping chives. I don't know, dude.
this
Done.
man.
What's next?
This man's wild. All right,
What's next?
guys, let us know in the chat. What should our prompt be for the drawing challenge today?
Something easy.
I
Something
think it's an
easy.
Ash's eggs logo.
I think it is. I think so. I think it's Ashley's
Okay.
eggs is the deal here, folks. If you want to join us, DM it to us at Making a Mark Podcast on Instagram or tag us in your post, and we'll include it in the episode art today. So
As well as tag us in anything you make ever. Just
Wait,
tag Making a
anything
Mark.
you've ever made.
Did the eggs have a name? What did we say?
I think we're going with Ash's eggs, right?
Do you want Ash's eggs or Ulmer eggs?
Let's do Ash's eggs.
Okay.
Oh man,
Oh,
you should do.
Wait, are we
Oh my
starting?
Gerd. Ashley.
are we starting?
No one has started yet. No one has started writing. So you guys need
ready?
to wait for Josh.
Set.
Oh,
And
darn
a
it.
go.
I thought of a better one. Okay, be sure to drop down in the chat. What was your favorite part of the episode today? And don't forget to share, like, and comment on your favorite Making a Mark episode.
Man, this is nice. I just don't have to work that much on this episode. I'll just be vibing with the...
Vibing and thriving?
Vibing and thriving. Wow, you did
Josh,
My
did you ever
Sharpie's
get-
dying
Josh.
a little.
Josh, did you ever get that rash looked at that you were texting me about?
No, bro. It is even worse now.
Man, you hate to see it. Oh, gosh.
What the crap am I doing?
So,
This
Kiara,
one
when are
was
you
gonna
moving
be
to
such a
Nashville?
fun one.
I'm currently in. Was that a lightning bolt? I feel like that doesn't look like lightning, but this is supposed to be lightning.
Oh, I just thought of something sick.
Anyway, I'm currently in Tennessee house sitting, but I found an apartment, so my lease will start March 1st.
Cool. What's your address? I'm joking. That was a total joke.
All right, guys, pencils down.
No, hold on. No,
No, I'm
stop.
not done.
As usual. Nope, I'm not done either, but here we go.
Cousin Josh, knock it off, Bubba.
Bubba.
Come on, dude. Sick 'em dogs, am I right?
Are we showing them one at a time?
That one's
No,
pretty
everybody
cool.
throw-
Dude,
throw
that
up
That's so
looks
fancy.
sweet
Mine's
straight
so
up.
So
childish.
sick, dude.
That's cool.
Well, here's what went through my head after I started drawing. I was like, why did you draw the box closed, you dummy? So I said, oh, it's
It's
a
a clear
clear
box.
top. And
It's
then
like
I
a
started
crystal
to write
box.
egg.
Or that's
and
the
then
other.
finish,
The
it's just
packaging's
egg.
clear and all the eggs are different colors.
I can make the packaging
That'd be
out of
such
the
a play.
same, out of like resin, like I do the keychains. It's like glitter, like it's like a little
That's what
epoxy
I'm
box.
freaking saying, dude. And all the
It's gotta be
TikTokers that
doing
buy,
wonders for
you
the
know,
planet
Kiara's
when you're-
brand, all these girls that are doing stuff like this, like, and I'm gonna be showing off today, Ash's eggs. They would freaking eat it up. Like, and so I'm very excited. I did pick up. This is a model train, and I'm super excited.
Yes, you have to put the hands behind. You have to focus.
Homie,
I'm super excited.
homie, please tell me you have a
Oh.
little Brio choo-choo train in your office. Are you at home or
this
at
is-
your office?
I'm at home. This is just adjacent to the playroom, so it's the kid stuff everywhere.
Love to see it.
The
I just
best.
like, yeah, who doesn't have their own model train circling their desk at all times?
Yeah, right? Here's
Okay,
mine.
go Ash's
Oh,
egg.
that's so cute.
Aw.
Of
It's
course.
just a little egg, a little angel
course.
egg.
Okay, this
so
is mine.
sick.
A happy egg
Eggs are-
with the sad
Oh.
lightning bolt. The sad
I
lightning
like
bolt.
that. With the Z
Okay.
too.
So this is mine. Also, I'll be transparent with the chat. I am looking at some barefoot shoes, so I did get the barefoot sizing guide. So that's the only blank paper I had.
That's
Oh,
cool.
man.
I like
But
it.
then the crack would be the lightning bolt. I don't know why
Yeah.
we've decided lightning bolt is the thing, but like,
Because it's like
I don't know.
Rockstar.
I missed that memo.
yeah, shout
Ash
out to
crack.
the excellent people, the rock star eggs. But yeah, if Josh was designing it, he could add like the lightning bolt in it.
Lightning bolts are
Yeah,
one of those
that'd be
things that are like that, and flames are tricky to nail down. Like you think, I just throw a lightning bolt on there, throw some,
Oh.
make it look like it's on fire, and it always looks like flaming doo doo for like six revisions before you actually.
See,
do
I
it.
like
Maybe it's just me.
flames. I like doing flames, but lightning bolts are like I still can't figure out how to draw it correctly. Like I
Oh
just can't.
wow. I feel like
wow.
Ashley, like you were the person's like, yeah, bring your Converse to Ash. She'll draw the sickest flames on them here in New Mexico. Like, yeah, she can do it. Like, just send her 50 AR points and you're good to go. Shout out AR points. So in the chat, drop a comment of your favorite logo. Is it the bright, cold, closed box? Is it the Ash Omer cutie egg? Is it the Kiara Whitting scrambled tamble?
Whitting.
Or is it the
Whitting.
Scrambled
Yeah.
tamble.
Or is it, the winning one? The egg. Drop in the chat. We see you
Josh,
out
I
there.
think you need to replace me with Cowboy Coop. He's making this show a lot better than I do. That's for sure.
No, it's both of us. You're good. You're good. We're both in hot water here today.
This is enough. I'm a little too much for a lot of people, so this is a proper like dose. You're like, okay, good.
That should be a message. So I send a few things to like prep guests for the show, and I think that should be one is like if you're too much for everyone else, you're gonna fit in great here. If you're a little, if you tend to wander around in the conversation, oh boy, we got a place for you. It's right here.
Yeah, I love it. Well, it
guys,
looks like
y'all
Kiara's
were
getting
so
all
great
the
today.
votes.
Yeah, because hers was probably the
Humble
best
brag.
parts, I
One was
think.
sick. With
Okay,
the V and
So
everything.
now it has to go on an elevated, face merch drop as an
Yeah.
egg.
Yeah, when I get back
Hashtag
to work,
elevated.
I will send this as a recommendation.
Go ahead and print 6,000 units. They're gonna want it. The people want
I'll
it.
make sure you all get a free one for your contribution, your inspiration.
Hey, thank you.
I love
Hey, be
it.
sure to use my
I love
discount code Ash's Eggs below to get 10% off your
10%.
elevated apparel order. I'm very excited. Or the TikTok ad is like the comfiest Christian outerwear you've ever worn.
Guys,
They
Oh,
put
gonna
an
be a
egg
wrap for
logo
today.
on this sweatshirt.
huge shout out to
Not
our
the
guest for
TikTok
today's
sound.
episode. We'll have links for everybody in the show notes. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please drop a comment in the video and just say Carson just should be hosting the
No.
show. Upvote.
Hey,
very
go
few-
to Internet Friends and buy the hats, okay? If you support the podcast, go buy the hats right now.
Absolutely. We'll have
Thank
links
you.
for everybody down in the comments. Actually, Carson, you don't have anything to promote at all, but
Yeah, I've gone dark.
We'll talk about you down there.
I've gone
That's
dark.
okay. That's okay.
Again, I've been
Between
in
Kiara and
podcast
Ashley, they have
rehab,
enough
dude.
things to talk about.
Also, did you notice that I
Awesome.
changed my banner to aspiring turd nerd?
Did not
Wait, how
notice
did you
that.
change it while
Wait,
we were
yeah, when did
live?
you change it?
Hey guys, we're gonna talk about it in the green room. Thanks
Okay.
for listening. Have a great day. See ya.